For a long time, every Australian cinephile, myself included, wanted to be David Stratton, the beloved critic who has now left us at the age of 85. It wasn't just because he got paid to watch and talk about films, but also because David Stratton, alongside Margaret Pomeranz, brought their opinions into living rooms across the country. We wanted to be like him because the values he represented and the way he carried himself were truly admirable. Knowledgeable, approachable, polite, and above all, deeply passionate about cinema. His passion was contagious, and his impact on Australia's film culture is immeasurable. Stratton had many talents. He served as director of the Sydney Film Festival from 1966 to 1983 and taught film courses at the University of Sydney for 35 years. But for me, the most inspiring moments were watching his TV reviews as a young cinephile in the 1990s. I, like many others, watched David and Margaret religiously. Their chemistry was remarkable, slightly serious, slightly playful, and perfectly charming together. Often, I would wait for them to debate each other, moments that were truly memorable. Stratton's greatest quality was that his criticism always came from a place of love and passion. He was always willing to understand other perspectives and reflect on his own opinions. I first met him at the Melbourne Film Festival. He was cheerful and easy to talk to. I asked a lighthearted question, and he responded with patience. That was his way, always open to others. Last November, I spoke to him for the last time. He was reconsidering his thoughts on the Australian comedy The Castle. For him, films were not just to watch once, but to experience multiple times, discovering new layers each time. A few years ago, I attended a Critic's event where he joined us for a drink. I saw a humorous and slightly sharp side to him. He could be amusing, both in private and in public, with a wit that was unmatched. In 2008, his memoir, I Peed on Fellini, was published, recounting amusing incidents at the Venice Film Festival in the 1960s. Perhaps the most important part, though, was his dedication of the book to young cinephiles. He truly inspired generations of film lovers. As a young man, David Stratton founded a local film society and began exploring cinema from around the world. In 1963, he arrived in Australia and within a few years became director of the Sydney Film Festival, a position he held until 1983. Stratton fought against film censorship and advocated for the screening of films from across the globe, including Russian films during the Cold War. His advocacy was so prominent that ASIO monitored him, concerned about his travels to Russia in the late 1960s. Alongside his work as a critic, Stratton produced documentaries on Australian screen history, authored books, including his memoir, and served on juries at film festivals around the world. His efforts extended beyond critique. He helped cultivate a love for cinema and strengthened Australia's film culture. David Stratton, the Australian film critic and festival director, passed away peacefully at 85. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said, "With dry humor and deep insight, David Stratton shared his love of cinema with the nation." His family said, "David's passion, dedication to Australian cinema, and generous spirit touched countless lives. He was a beloved husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and respected friend." Stratton was born in England in 1939. From a young age, he was captivated by cinema. After his father returned from the war, he continued his weekly movie visits in London. David Stratton's legacy will live on. His passion, knowledge, and love for cinema will always be remembered. Everyone who learned from his work carries forward his story. His family asked that people celebrate his life, whether by watching their favorite film or his favorite film, Singing in the Rain.